Hello, hello. How we doing today, friends? Go, screen, go. I just had a moment as I was sitting here, like I unmuted and I was like, I just gotta wait for that like first song to play where it goes, like this part here where it goes, this part. And then I say hello, hello right there. And I just sat there at the end of the last song and forgot that I have to press play on the next playlist. Anyways, I hope we're all doing well. It's Weird Pumpkin Wednesday. We're going to be sculpting some weird pumpkins. Having a good time to it. It is, of course, a chillax stream. Not like our other stream where we put on all sorts of events and try to be clever and interesting and all those things. This one is just about co-working. You got to get the work done, so I'm doing the work. So if you want to pull up a chair and work alongside me, that's fantastic. We'll just be chilling and chatting and thising and thatting. Thising and thatting? Yeah, that rhymes. Rhyming is the goal, right? With stream, just rhyme a lot. All right, we got some stuff in the fridge to look at today. Of course we do. First of all, our friend Betsy Paints, I think, is at Disney right now, and they decided to send this along for my benefit in the Discord. And, you know, we share stuff that's on the fridge. So, yeah. Kermit the Frog here. It's me! Hiya! It's the high-quality content you come to expect from us. This is from our friend Betsy Paints. How do you spell Betsy? Betsy _ Paints with a Z, if I remember correctly. There they are. They sent that along. And of course, our friend DJ Kenneth posted some music in the old Discord. Let me see. DJ Kenneth says he can't make it to the stream. That's all right. Let me click on this link and see what happens. This would be a really great way to like troll me. But I think it's just going to open to his album. And we can pause this for a second. Oh, it's a Spotify playlist. Might get an ad. Wait, what? I'm very confused. Is this the right? Probably. How loud is this coming in? Okay, not too bad. As always, fascinating and interesting music coming in from DJ Kenneth A. I think this is his. I hope so. Otherwise, I'm going to get content ban. There you go. It's a sample. 21 seconds. Then I can't get in trouble. Go in the Discord. If you want to share some art, drop it in the Discord. That's the place to drop it. If you're doing anything, if you're doing music, if you're doing arts and crafts, Discard. I got hella on the brain. Discord. You can drop the art there. You can also join in to see what other people are doing. One of the things I really care about is being like supportive to people and seeing what other people do, because often what other people do inspires me to do more and to do better, and also challenges me to think, oh, that's really cool. I wonder how they did that. And I start to learn as a result. All right, friends. Super chill stream today. We'll be having a good time, of course. Let's get ourselves some music here. What kind of music do we want today? I have a list here called Good Vibes. It can't be that bad. Ooh, maybe we should like acoustic it up or piano it up. We have like a chill piano one, I think. We do. Let's do that one. So yeah, Weird Pumpkins. If you've never been to the stream before. Oh, you know what? I don't think I changed any of my information. Oh my goodness. Let me switch. Let's quickly do that. Sculpting. Sorry, Weird Pumpkin Wednesday. Wednesdays. And then we'll put it under makers and crafting. Done. Couple more reminders as we're getting kicked off here. I have been trying really hard to find more ways to support our LGBTQ plus community. And one of the ways we're doing that is by doing a little, I opened a little fundraiser page for the Trevor Project, which supports young people. And we're going to do more about that in the weeks to come. But in the short term, there's a little quick link to where you can get some more information and where you can give if you want to give. Again, my goal there isn't really for me to raise $500, but just to have a place where people can give if they want to give, because it's a tough time. It's often been a tough time for our LGBTQ folks, and I wanted to work extra hard to make sure that they know that they have loud support in someone like me. We also have our redeem for pronouns, if you're ever looking for someone's pronouns. Also, if we just look at the upcoming for the next little while, we've got Tuesdays are drawing prop fun. We did it yesterday. We did Marvel from memory. And then today is Weird Pumpkin Wednesday, where we'll be making some weird pumpkins, like these lovely little friends right here. These are the ones we did last week. Aren't painted yet, but their character is there. And then next week on Tuesday, we're going to be doing merfolk types. So we're just going to be doing like marsupials was the one Billiam mentioned yesterday that made me laugh a lot. Or, you know, any other similar kind of characterization. And then on Tuesday, May 16, we're going to spend the time designing some LGBTQ plus sticker designs. I have no idea what that stream's going to look like. It may just be me trying to draw stuff or taking your suggestions to help come up with some fun designs. And ultimately, out of that, I'm hoping that we'll be able to pick one sticker that we really like that we'll render up and make nice. And then we'll sort of fully launch into the fundraiser. And anyone who gives to the Trevor Project at a certain dollar amount will get one of those stickers. And I'm pretty sure when I'm done, I'm going to put them on my website and give the proceeds to the Trevor Project as well. It's literally the very least I can do, and I really want to make a difference here. So we're going to do that one way or the other. Hey, now, you're an all-star. It's true. You like, how else can you say hi to Now and friends? Welcome, Raiders. My name is Patrick. I hope you're doing well. I'm an artist. I was in Now stream for a little bit earlier. Dance, 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 dance. It is Now and friends. Billy and Babel, hello. It's a real spam for Now when they raid, because they get the Raider prompt shout out as well. They get the Now shout out. And for any of you who didn't know, Now streams and sculpts and does art. You all know that. Hi, friends. Good to see you. Yes, I was hanging out for a little bit in there earlier this morning. I did quietly exit at some point. I can hear. You can hear? Why couldn't you hear? I'm very confused. Oh, okay. Good. Okay, good. I was just saying nice things about you. You don't need to hear them. I'm an artist. We were just getting into our sculpting for today. Well, my camera just never wants to be focused where I want it to be focused. Apparently back there is where it's focused-ish. These like little bright guys, though, don't always do super well. We're focused. These are the ones we did last week. We've got some base templates here kicking around. We will do one of them. And yeah, weird pumpkins are just sort of this thing I like to do. They get a lot of emotions, a lot of vibes, but they are a delight. Sometimes they're sus. This one's really sus when you go like this. And this one's having a bad day. Every year, many streamers get lost in their own raids. Only you can help. Yes, Billiam, it's Weird Pumpkin Wednesday. Gotta do weird pumpkins. All right, so let's get into this. We got a couple sizes. Why don't we start the big one again, because big is best. I got up and I played some Magic the Gathering while I watched Now stream for a bit. Lost my draft entirely, but oh well. Sometimes that's the way it goes. Yeah, well, you know, you can't really control it. It's not like I'm putting any money into it. I'm just playing the digital version, and it will occasionally give me rewards that give me money. And by occasionally, I mean like fairly regularly. It'll give me in-game currency to play. So that was fun. Oh, this music might be too tiring. Yay for fantasy games, indeed. And I had a long discussion with my buddies about why Marvel Snap needs new content and needs it now. Which we talk about probably once a week because we're all sort of tired and we want more content. Because apparently I'm a digital card game player now. What are you all up to today? Now, clearly, just wrapping up from stream. If you have an image you want to show us, we can throw up on the fridge. More than welcome to drop that. If you got to like raid and run, or at least like walk Sammy, go for it. We're just going to be chilling here, working away on some weird pumpkins. We also need to decide on a motion for this pumpkin. But let's give it a little bit more till we get all the coverage done. As Billiam often says, do it now, immediately. I like posting pictures of my work immediately after I stream. It's not stressful to me at all. No, take your time. We're in no rush. We always like to see what you make, but, you know, as I know with sculptures, you got to take photos, you got to figure out that. You might have to, like, clean up your desk a little bit. This pumpkin's going to have a real wobbly shape to him. Mapping things / promo graphic, I think. Nice. Billiam, a fantastical artist. I love looking at your maps, looking at your monsters. Also just a generally nice guy. Has the right amount of British self-deprecation to be enjoyable. Share a picture immediately. Say, and digital art, though, at least you can like export what you did within reason, right? Like, I always felt with sculptures, it was like I have to like declutter the desk of everything, move my monitor, or find another spot in my house where I can like put it so I'm not exposing the entirety of the picture to like a stream in the background, and then double check my lighting so that it doesn't look like garbage. And then ultimately try to get a picture together. All right. I pre-rolled out a bunch of clay because my clay is really, really dry. Like, it's not bad. It's just like it needs that extra work, and better to get the work done off stream than to do it all live. Because it's a lot of just pasta rollers. Professional pictures now. I know it's hard to do pasta rolling because you just get hungry. I'm gonna need a little bit wider, I think. I wonder if I can cheat that by giving pressure. Not at the top. Yeah, like I spent a lot of time wondering about temperature and what the best temperature to work it is. I find sometimes that in the summer it gets too melted, too soft, and becomes almost too difficult to work with. But then at a certain point in the winter it becomes very stiff. I think we're going to end up putting our face on this side. So let's, like a nice sort of crooked face. So let's start with that there. How hot is it in Georgia today? It's supposed to get hot here later this week. But hot for me means like 24 degrees Celsius. This is the fun part of the stream where I just push flat discs of clay. Early 70s, not that bad, it's just humid. All right, we're gonna go over here and we're gonna convert 70 F to C. Okay, yeah, 21, that's pretty warm. I, for one, would be happy not to be in an environment that was 21. 21 plus, because that's 70 on the dot. The formula for converting Fahrenheit to Celsius is insane. It's take your number, like your 70, minus 32, and then times that by 5 ninths. It's just crazy. And I understand why the two of them exist. But I'm looking at you, Fahrenheit. Hello, grilled. Oh, boop, boop. Let's pin that one. No, don't reply. My bot is so polite. We will ban. Well, you know, you gotta be doing something right if you are banning people. Like, if the bots aren't trying to spam your account, are you really making an impact in the world? do. I ate a nice heart-healthy breakfast this morning. Or heart healthier. I don't know how healthy it was. Nice everything bagel and some cream cheese, a light cream cheese with an orange. Yeah, I'm botted, therefore I am, Billiam. And frankly, I want the bots to be at our stream because, like, you know, in the coming AI apocalypse, I presume that the bots will become the Twitch audience. So wouldn't I want to sort of ingratiate myself to them early on? Make content specifically for bots? I'd just be ahead of the curve at that point. All right, this is going to be a real wonky one. I know about your chat shenanigans. My chat shenanigans aren't even on yet. I forgot to do a word of the day today. I mean, it's Wednesday, so we do chill. But I usually do something to the effect of mystery words. Because it's an easy thing to set up. Yesterday's word was rest, of all things. I don't pick the words directly. They're from a random list. I mean, I do technically. Oh. It's also today's mystery word. So, interesting fact about the mystery word and the way that it works is that it is it's a command, much like any command you would use on stream. So if I was to do haha, that's a command, right? And they're set up to trigger on the text. But with that one particularly, I set it up so that it had a 6-hour cooldown before it could be used again. And we saw that yesterday when somebody typed something about needing to rest, and they got like a notice from my bot saying that command is on cooldown. Excellent. Glad you have closure. And of course, because I do it every stream, it doesn't really matter because I'll change the word, but I didn't change it today, did I? And that's why today's mystery word could be rest again. Good times. You're welcome. I hope that woke anyone up who is like, boy, I'm a little bit sleepy because of this piano music. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, I'm a fool. I just realized something I could do to fix a audio problem. Be really super solution. Super simple solution. So like I have my microphone on a limiter, right? So I can't be any louder than this. So if my voice is down here, it's pretty quiet. If my voice is up here, it's also the same volume. Like it doesn't go beyond that volume. Big band, yeah. No better way to wake up than big band. I could do that for my music prompts too. That would solve a problem I was trying to deal with my upcoming prompt being so loud yesterday. All right, we've got the foundation of our pumpkin put together here. We're just going to smooth in some of these. I think I need to fill in a gap at the bottom here because there's a big sort of opening forming in the bottom, which isn't problematic, but if you are trying to, you know, sell these. When people donate bits or sub, your mic gets muted. I don't understand how that would happen. On purpose or accidentally? Audio tech, you know? Oh, they overwhelm OBS. Yeah, okay, that's fair. It doesn't really take much, does it, to truly overwhelm OBS? OBS is a real anxious sort of software. All right, let's take our tool. Let's just use this one, I think we'll do. Start creating some very basic pumpkin-y shapes. Close the gaps between our various sides. Where's my soft tool? There's my soft tool. That'll do even better. Exactly. This is exactly right now. Yeah, you gotta approach OBS very calmly, very casually. Don't startle it. Don't make too many loud noises. Our D&D group starts a new game tomorrow. Very excited to do some role playing in the coming weeks. We're going to be doing. I didn't say we haven't chosen an emotion yet, to be honest. I decided, I think, that I would let the emotion be dictated by the face. Yeah, so when we did them last fall, we assigned emotions in advance and came up with an idea. But right now, I'm just sort of trying to make them, you know? So let's make what we make and then assign emotions afterwards. Unless somebody has like an emotion they really want to see, and then like we can probably use that to sort of guide our various and sundry pursuits. Hello, Will. I was just thinking to myself, I was just saying that we're about to start a new game in our D&D group. D&D being like Kleenex or jacuzzi, just a term for role-playing, tabletop role-playing games. But I also noticed you were putting a lot of things in our Snap game chat. What were you posting? If you care to say. How are we doing on our challenges? Oh my goodness. Looks like the Pat Choir might be coming back. Ah, excellent. Some A's to Q's. Community challenge complete. Well, next week, looks like the Pat Choir is going to come back. For those of you who hang out here fairly regularly, how many bits do you think you're getting a week right now? Is it just like, if you're a subscriber, it's about 800 max? And if you're a not a subscriber, it's about 400 max, like 200 a stream or so? I'm not good at doing the calculation. And I used to have like a sense of it when I was streaming 4 times a week. I guess it's half of what it used to be. So I think this is going to be the front side of this Pumpkinmon. Cleared out my bits yesterday. Came back to 520 right now. All right. Yeah. So I know you've got. Yeah. So I know that there's a large chunk. Yeah. This is my loyalty test. And next we're going to drink the Kool-Aid at the cult, Billiam. I'm trying to give myself a sense of where our numbers should be for reasonable returns on our hide your points. Reasonable returns on our, what do you call it? So we're gonna go into the old reference bin here to look at some facial emotions. See if we can decide what feels right for this pumpkin. Redeems. Exactly. Is that what did I say? Did I say something wrong? Now I'm just confused. That happens. All right. So just for like clarity's sake, let's put this over here. So this is the pumpkin face we're dealing with. It's a slanty pumpkin, which maybe makes a difference. So let's get in here. I'll put this guy like there for now. Sometimes emotion faces. Here, this kid's got a bunch of emotions. Which of these feel good? Oh, that's funny. Thank you. Disdain. Do you want me to look up disdain? Disdain. Oh, I spelled it wrong, but whatever. Contempt. I mean, disdain isn't a terrible face. Old people faces work real well for pumpkins. No offense to... Wikipedia Contempt was good. This one? That's all right. I like this one. This is a real vibe. Oh, okay. Like in Wikipedia. Wikipedia Contempt. Well, the thing is that... Do you mean this face? All right, maybe we'll just use this one as a basis. Honestly, oh, you know who that is? Is that the little kid from like that one meme? Is that this kid? Is that? Oh my goodness, I think it's the same person. Have they grown up that much? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It looks like her, right? And she's making that face. Have we just learned something? It can't be. How old is this meme? How old? How old? Oh no. Oh well. Friends, I don't want you to be alarmed, but we're all aging at an incredibly consistent rate. Both us and people that we've never met. I know, say it ain't so. But it's so. Oh, actually, we need the face. Shoot, I did this backwards. We need the face to be here. All right, let's just cut out a hole for this space. Remind me as I pull a knife towards my fingertips. It's bad knife form, people. 2 knives away from yourself. It's okay because it's a craft knife, and truth be told, it's probably never going to slip. The grim specter of death looms ever closer. Yes, isn't that what you said to me on my birthday? Have a good nap / pretend to work. I mean, as an entrepreneur, a man who runs his own business, napping is an essential part of that time spent. All right, next question. We've got medium eyes. We've got little eyes, and we got big eyes. I think big eyes are probably too big. Let's go medium and see how we go from there. Don't die, poor kids. What about revolutionize? Are you trying to come in here with puns today, Will? Puns. You think that's acceptable behavior? Hello, Jacob. How we doing? I hope you're doing okay. I think I recognize your name from Art and Jess streams. Is that correct? Or is it Makerbug, or both? I think it's Art and Jest streams. But my knowledge is a bit flawed. I haven't been around for a while. Scummy Bunny's better half. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what I get for taking a stab at it. Yes, of course. Thank you for coming to see the pumpkins in all their glory. So good at remembering who people are. It's nice of you to pop by. How are you doing today? We're currently trying to get some eyes on here to give them a bit of a lid covering on the bottom. I do need to go up a fair amount, but I can keep adding to it. I did say I should stab away from myself. Did I stab towards myself? Apparently my brain is not focused today. I'm doing all right besides the brain focus thing, but you know, that might just be a byproduct of being half awake or, you know, being distracted. Oh, hey-oh! Thank you, Will. It is very funny. If only I was able to get the joke. It's twice now somebody's tried to make a joke. And I'm just like, whew. That's why my hair is so slick back today. Just keeps pushing by. I think we're all in weird spaces. That's life sometimes, you know? Jacob, if you're Scummy Bunny's other half, are you a creative person as well? Sorry to say, I stopped a long time ago, staying around streams for a long time. And so I don't often stay when I visit Scummy's stream, and Scummy's often streaming similar times of day to me, at least on the Wednesdays. So I don't ever really get to meet everyone super well, which is part of just the nature of what streaming can be like, right? We all shouldn't be overextending ourselves. And I try very hard not to do that these days, at least. I'm just gonna put a faceplate. Just a tech guy. Time zones, yeah. I actually also stopped streaming for about 4 months, from about September to January. So I really wasn't around in the even more sense. Tech guys do make the world go round in increasingly complicated and problematic ways. Looking at the I should say that my reasons for exiting and not streaming were not actually deeply tied to the Great Calamity. The Great Calamity changed the way I approached streaming, but it didn't actually wasn't actually the source of what I was going through at the time. To be clear. Yeah, tech guys make the world go round, but tech billionaires ruin them. I think that. Yeah, no, I'm glad to be back. And I'm just taking it easy. I did the first few months with just one stream a week, and now we're doing 2. I would say certainly the Great Calamity didn't help, but the Great Calamity wasn't actually the reason why I stepped away. Much more complicated. Tech guys do not equal tech bros. All right, that's a fair assessment. So we're just giving some meat on these bones, just trying to get the basis of our face in, so that we can then build out a mouth and a nose and place these eyes in proper spot. Because we are doing this sort of like suspicious kind of look. We are going to need to do like heavy eyebrows on top of the eyes. So, time for a hot tip of the day. If you want to make a nose, all you really need is a triangle. And to make a triangle, take your finger and thumb and your finger and thumb and go like this. So you go like that, you go like that. You end up with a triangle. And the more that you do it, in terms of shaping it, the more happy you'll be with your triangle. And then you can use 2 fingers to extend one end of that triangle. And before you know it, you've got a nose. Oh, before you know it, you've got a nose that you can then give some refining to after you place it. This is the secret to a good nose, or to an easy sculpting nose. There are other ways to make noses, but that is the easiest way to make a nose. And now you nose. I'm sure you're gonna do a great job now. I feel like you're, taking all the right precautions and steps. It's only a matter of time. Oh, this person's gonna have an upturned nose. Man, that still works, huh? Unfollows. Billiam, you were supposed to be sleeping. I was supposed to be able to make all the jokes I wanted to without any judgment from you. You're napping. I guess you might still just be pretending to work. If you're napping while watching the stream, that's okay. What we'll do is we'll wait till we think that you're asleep, and then we'll start trying to incept you. The nose knows. I figure if Leonardo DiCaprio can incept somebody, I can too. And we all know it went so well for his character. Such a strange and sad movie. By the way, the inevitable outcome of this pumpkin is it will not look anything like the face we were trying to make. If I was actually trying to do that, I would take a lot more time. We just use this as an inspiration to give direction to my hands as we go. The long and short is it looks like we're going to have maybe a little bit sus, but possibly just a little bit sad. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm really excited too. So we're playing Scum and Villainy, which is a modded version of Blades in the Dark. Blades in the Dark, from my understanding, is very much a heist-based game. So presumably will be some kind of smugglers or something like that in space. Very sort of that kind of game. I know we don't have to be smugglers, but it's the easiest way for me to give context to what I'm saying. And Blades of the Dark has a really interesting mechanic. So one of the things you do a lot when you're playing role-playing games is you do a lot of planning, right? Like you end up having a long conversation about what you want to happen and what you're going to do. And then, as is often the case, Criminal Enterprise, indeed, as is often the case, immediately once the action kicks off, your plans just go disastrous. And so you spend a lot of time in D&D, especially, strategizing and then executing and then having to improvise. And so what Blades in the Dark does is it says, why don't you just take the planning mechanic out and go right into the action, and then allow people to, hello, Sing, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Go right into the action, and then allow people as a mechanic to, at any given point in the middle of a heist, in the middle of a scenario, expend some of their resources, be it, I don't remember what all the resources are, but expend some of their resources to sort of backward engineer the success of the moment. So to be like, okay, we're encountering this new problem. I'm going to say that I worked with my contacts to get a map of this place, so now we know what it looks like, and so we won't get lost. And you do dice rolls for those, and based on the quality of the dice roll, you either get resounding successes or you get obliterating failure, or you get somewhere in between where something good happens and something bad happens, sort of like a yes and kind of scenario. And yeah, it takes away the core ideas of equipment and process and cash and puts them into the middle of the scenario for you to say, I really should have brought a what are those things called where you throw a hook, like a hook shot, but not a hook shot, some ropes so I could climb, whatever. And you do that sort of backwards, and there's a whole mechanic for how it works, but basically it turns the game from being a game where you are spending a lot of time inordinately planning for things that you can't really ultimately control, and instead says when things start to go out of your control, yeah. I mean, Will knows the system better than I do because he's been prepping. He's our DM. I've only just sort of read some of the material. I own it. I own the base game. I don't own Scum and Villainy, which is a expansion mod thing made by somebody else. We're gonna have that real picky upturned nose. Sing, how are you today? This is Weird Pumpkin Wednesday. So the other thing that I do as an artist is I sculpt, and I'm particularly fond of my projects called Weird Pumpkins. This is one of them here. They have ranged from the very first Weird Pumpkins, which look something like this, which are a lot more orange than the ones I made last year. I did some resin casting versions, so I have like duplicate copies. And then I do a bunch of original ones. So last week we did our first Weird Pumpkin Wednesday in a long, long time. We made this lovely face here. We also made this lovely face here, for better or for awesome. They're hard to see a bit because of the light. It can be really bright. Yeah, so like Scum and Villainy is like, what if you did Blades, which is typically like a almost steampunky London kind of vibe, and instead made it like more like a Rogue in space kind of vibe. So now we're just gonna start working on a mouth here. But it's not Star Wars. It's just a helpful reference. Like it's not it's not Star Wars, truthfully, but it's not like it's very not Star Trek. Like it's closer to a Star Wars, but it's not branded Star Wars. Thank you. I don't know if that clarification is actually helpful, but that's what I'm trying to say when I refer to Star Wars. That like in the two major genres, yeah, there you go. Yeah. It doesn't belong to Star Wars, and it doesn't take place in Star Wars, but like, you know, you could run a pretty good Spaceballs campaign off of it. And we'll be modifying further. I mean, Will, what would I expect from you? How is your day going? Sing. Oh, my microphone might be in the wrong spot. That might be why. Woo! Q. Oh, now it's just telling me my breath was coming in a lot. I have to put my microphone pretty far away. Hopefully we won't be as breathy now. Thank you. You can actually just say that in chat if you would like as well. You don't have to necessarily just private message me that. I appreciate the effort to be subtle. Yes. All right, so now inside here we need to shove in some teeth. Perfect mouth. Yeah, I know. Problem is that I don't breathe very well. I have to continually refine my audio setup to try to make it less breathy. It's not helped by the way that I tend to just talk unendingly without taking any breath. Shocking nobody, I'm sure. That would be somehow problematic for... Yes, I feel like now you keep me in the loop, and you're very kind about it. I think Will would rake me over the coals for the fun of it. And rightly so. Those are the two kinds of friends. Thank you. Yeah, I gave Will a bunch of stickers the other day because his son was having a hard day and I wanted to be nice, but now I just get free marketing off of it. So, you know, there goes some teeth in there. And truthfully, if you want to get them for free, you can sign up for... Yes, you did. Mr. Frightful, how are we doing today? You can sign up for my email list and get free stickers in our monthly giveaway. I'm prepping to play, and by I'm prepping to play, I mean I'm going to play, and Will's doing all the hard work of looking after being a DM. Although I feel like Blades in the Dark as a system, because again, I don't know Scumability that well, although it's based off of it, allows for a lot more improvisation on both the part of the DM and on the part of the players, because a lot of it is sort of like the most work that a DM has to put into it is establishing the scenario and possibly thinking about some of the risks involved. Unimproved Trail, thank you so much. If you would like me to make an icon for you for our question of the day, usually on Tuesdays during that stream, we'll do a question of the day. And yeah, if you want your own personal icon, you can definitely get that because you are subscribed. That goes for anybody, of course, who's subscribed. I don't think, Will, you filled out a form for that yet. You're more than welcome to have one made. Off of your Prime ones. You're more than welcome to. We're just gonna start working on shaping this face out a little bit more. Currently, I'm not overly happy with how this eye is coming together, but it is what it is. Oh, thanks, Unimproved Trail. It comes from Epidemic Sound. Super chill. Just a playlist I put together of piano music, which I think was largely based on their recommendations. So, do with that what you will. You are quite good at it. I sometimes wonder, because I'm a little bit more versed in the world of RPGs than certainly our newest member of our group. And I sometimes wonder how much, if he realizes how much you're just making up on the spot. Because it's like fairly apparent, especially after playing UBG for so long, how much you were injecting into what was already there. Is Forged just a sort of modified version to be more medievally? Can't remember. Oh yeah, maybe you're right. I think this mouth isn't speaking to me enough. If we can't get some more sort of tortured pain into it. It's starting to look a bit like an Ugnaught. Like the guy from Power of the right. Forge of the Dark is Power of the Apocalypse. Right. Yeah, makes sense to me, at least. Yeah, that's right. All right, let's blend this in a little bit. Oops, should be using this tool. Get pure blends that I want. I want to be able to cut through the blend. My favorite thing about Weird Pumpkins is in a lot of ways there aren't any rights or wrongs. I lost track of the genealogy. Yeah, isn't that true about like games these days? Because so many of them offer like open licensing. It can be hard to like keep track of which game is based off of which game, based off of which game. A little bit off. Often played settings using our own preferred systems. Feng Shui a lot. Oh, interesting. I don't know what Feng Shui is as a game concept or game design system. I think that's part of the hope of using blades. Hey, Amanda. To get a system that doesn't bog us down in the pre thought of play too much. Interesting. Is feng shui like a sort of system built around like old like samurai master kind of films, like kung fu films? It was almost racist to say, "Oh, feng shui, is that based on this other racist stereotype?" It feels a bit on the nose. It's quite setting an agnostic. Oh, okay. It's not about that. It's my arm. Welcome to the stream, my arm. We're just gonna smooth out this a little bit before we decide whether we've completed our face or not. It's certainly a face. Whether we love him or whether we don't remains to be seen. He does look like the Ugnaught from Mandalorian Season 1. Not sure what kind of face it is. We just sort of pulled it from just random face images as a base. It doesn't really look like the face in question. He's got a little bit of it, but I've changed quite a bit since getting into it. I think I want to create a deeper edge around the face. I'm gonna have to build up a little bit more face area, probably. Yeah, it looks a little bit like the Not the Mama Baby from Dinosaurs. There's a reference. They all sort of have that though, because they're all sort of pink and wrinkly. Disdain and contempt. Yeah, the thing about the emotions is that even when I try to do the emotions, they don't always, they sometimes convey better emotions. You know what I mean? That's why I'm trying to do less specific emotions and more expressions that can then be. Although the actual end result, I would call this an emotion of some kind. John Woo, Shaw Brothers, yeah. Fair enough. Pink and wrinkly, yep. That dinosaur baby looked like. How is your day today, Amanda? You know, you don't run into that many Amandas. I certainly haven't. Obviously, there's one that's been in my life for quite some time. only think of one other Amanda in recent years. Yeah, that's sort of the upper eyebrow on this side that does that, but it's just like the angular / nose upwards. I'm sure if you're named Amanda. I mean, I guess I don't run into that many Patricks either. Our parents certainly chose names that are not that popular. I think young enough. If they were in your daughter's daycare. Yeah, I guess I knew a lot of Amandas in elementary school. Very nice. You have 2 friends named Patrick. It'd be a very strange thing to be like, I know a lot of people named by a certain name, which is not an insult to you at all. I appreciate you trying to be sensitive, but to me that's a very funny notion. How do we feel about this weird pumpkin? Not too shabby. All right, we're gonna go on our first break of the day. And when we come back, we will wrap up by getting the stem in here and doing our lines, and then we'll start our next one. Just for you. Well, I would recommend not showing up at precisely 12:30 because I am a creature of habit, if nothing else. We're not going to go on a formal break, though, so we're just going to run a quick ad break, and it'll be that. Hello, Kit Angel. We're just going on an ad break. We'll be right back. You might not even get the ad break. Let's go over here and say hello to everybody. Oh, here we are again. I hope you're well. Don't you love kids' TV shows that used to just have like songs for hello and goodbye? So, we were talking last week about vines being a potential. And I think there is certainly potential. The problem is that once you get into, pigtails or ponytails, you start getting more fragile. Oh, I ran my ad thing, so now I have to, hi. I forgot, when I do the ad thing, it automatically replaces my face. Let's go back to the screen. Let's see you. While my ad thing pops up. So one of the reasons why weird pumpkins are designed the way they are is because polymer clay is actually very fragile. Case in point being, I actually finished my little mouse friend the other day here, and he is getting covered up by me. Good job, me. And like huge portions of this are very fragile, which isn't a big deal if it's on my desk and it's something I'm planning to use for my own personal use. But when it becomes something that I am, shipping or mailing, questions about breakability become very critical to the process. And so it's okay to have a lot more fragile pieces. Yeah, its ears got burnt. It's okay though, because I'll be painting them anyways, and I'll get a primer which will make it all the same color. Although it kind of looks like he has just like nice brown ears at this point. He was in the sun too long, indeed. We'll just wait for the robot me to disappear. So the thing that makes the weird pumpkin so appealing as a thing to sell, besides the fact that they're fun and cool and all these things, but from like a design standpoint, is that none of this is particularly fragile. So you would either, I'm not necessarily planning to resin these ones, like the pumpkins at this point. That's why ear sunscreen is important for mice. And so the more detail I add beyond the face, the more actually risk I get of making a product that will sort of not survive the shipping so well. And while people are generally understanding, and people generally can glue things and fix them themselves. It still feels better to send a product that won't get destroyed. So like the longest stem, I think, is probably this one, and that's even at some risk depending on how nice the shipping is about it. But so yeah, pigtails and vines right now, at least when I'm working on them, are not at the top of the food chain. I think we're done our ad break. Did I say sticker store? Yeah, I did. Awesome, friends. Hey, we're back from our ad break. We got a couple things on the fridge today. We like to see art. We like to have art shared. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, what's this message? It's just now reminding me. I think it was now. Is it gone? Oh no, my screen. Yes, it was now. Our friend Betsy Payne sent us this lovely picture from Disney. I don't know why she thought of me. Why did Betsy think of me? She was at Disneyland. It might have been Kermit. Or me, Miss Piggy. Oh, God. We're never going to have a Piggy Power Hour. It's too much. Our friend DJ Kenneth also posted some lovely music in our Discord on the fridge. Oh, it looks like Now's sent in the lovely piece of work they were working on. Ooh, looking good. You ever like have something on your screen, like a little bit of a smudge? It is too much. It's too much for me and my voice, let alone everybody else who has to listen to it. Now, of course, was sculpting this morning, making a Kirby. And they decided to rate us post that. Here is the lovely Kirby itself. A little kitchen Kirby for your kitchen. Yeah, of course, got some polishing to do. However, part of that was just my monitor. There we go. Isn't that cute? Yeah, it's really cute, isn't it, Kid Angel? I even stopped and said, Kit Angel. Look at that. There's the auto. You wouldn't let Kirby into your kitchen? That's fair. I'm not here to judge. Friends, we are entering a season where we are going to be promoting and thinking about our LGBTQ plus community. And when I say our, I mean, I mean that in the global sense as much as I mean the local sense, people that we know and people we don't know. I was talking a lot yesterday about, trying to rethink a number of things and to, be responsible for my shortcomings when it comes to this community that I have been in support of for a long time, but been a quiet supporter. And I want to transition myself to being a loud supporter of the community. So we have a bunch of stuff coming up in the next little while. But the one thing I really want to note, it'll come up randomly as well, but for now we're going to just throw it in there on purpose. That there's some wonderful resources at the Trevor Project. Great for parents who are trying to learn how to talk about this with their children, to support their children. It's also great for young people who are looking for support. I have a real heart for young people. It's what I used to do for most of my living anyways, was work with young people. And just the idea that, one adult, I was reading some of the stats the other day. It was one adult takes the chances, one adult who supports them in their life takes the chances for the average LGBTQ teenager to commit suicide down to 40%. Or how does it work? They're 40% less likely. I think that's right. If they just have one adult who supports them. And so we want to continue to grow our community here at my little channel and all the little things I do. I want to continue to grow our support of the community because even though I don't fit into that community, I'm not part of that category, but truth is, we as a society all bear the costs of how we treat others. And especially how we treat marginalized groups. So the one thing I want to talk about next coming weeks, we have a couple special events that we're doing on our calendar. So of course Tuesdays are going to be drawing prompts. Oh yeah, I forgot to change that to say Tuesday to Friday and Wednesday at 11:30, not Tuesday to Friday. We do not stream on Tuesdays and or Fridays, or Thursdays and or Fridays. Wednesdays we do Weird Pumpkins. That's what we're doing today. But next week we're going to be doing, on Tuesday, we're going to be doing merfolk types. So, mermaid, is people. Mermen is people. But what about marsupials, to borrow from Billy and Babel's suggestion yesterday? What about merfrogs and other things? And then the next week on the Tuesday, we're going to take the time to design merghosts. It's excellent. We're going to design some LGBTQ. Oh, I put my letters in wrong there. LGBTQ apparently, but whatever. Stickers. We're going to work on them together. That's either going to be you help me with ideas, or I'm just working on ideas live. We're going to, of course, be, focusing our attention there for that whole stream. And then when we're done, we're going to pick our favorite, and I'm going to establish at that link that had some giving on it. That fundraiser is going to go to like August. Anyone who contributes a certain dollar amount, I think it's going to be like $5 to that, will get a free sticker from me of that sticker. We're going to print it. And I'm going to put that sticker on my shop, and anyone who buys that sticker, all the proceeds, the profits after, costs, are going to go directly to the Trevor Project. It's a thing that I'm trying to do. I do not know, except for presumably if, the larger world of issues around gender, but I couldn't tell you. Yeah, we would love to know. By the way, I need to fix that on that thing. LGTB, BTQ. The acronyms are so difficult. All right, let's head back over here while we talk about. We wait for Kit Angel to give us the true facts. I don't know. Let's learn the true facts. Is it because... Oh, you got a challenge for me? Uh-oh. That seems risky. During the AIDS epidemic, lesbians were the only people that went into hospital support. Interesting. Quilt Band gets all the letters. That makes a lot of sense. Click on my love puts a cappy on hate sticker. We'll see. I'm sure there's some really interesting designs over that. I'll have to think about it. Yeah. No, I know the one you're talking about. Now I follow your work. Don't you worry. Well, we'll see what we do on that day, and then, if our energy moves in that direction, we might be able to give it a try. Otherwise, it might be something I work on off stream. No pressure, all pressure. That's a really interesting fact. It is such a heartbreaking thing to realize, right? That in that period, in the AIDS epidemic, that people were left to suffer and die essentially alone because of fear and of confusion. It does say a lot about just the reasons why it's so important to stand up and be in support for our LGBTQ plus community. I never get those letters right. I presume there's no intentionally wrong, certainly not on my part. But yeah, I think it's really important. I think it's all the more important with the nature of legislation in in particular the United States, but there are countries across the world. I'm sure even my own Canada, we have our own problems. Like, we're not immune to prejudice and bigotry. But it's hard to not think about our American friends and think of the legislative effort on many fronts that is being used to target unjustly, particularly the trans community, but you know, many much communities therein. Really, it's targeting anyone who's different. There's a clip I was watching a John Oliver the other day, and this was a one from the George Floyd protests in the early days of the pandemic, and just the horrible nature of racism in America. And there was a clip of a woman um, who was angry and upset, and was justifiably so, and she was trying to voice her concern. And she was saying that, at the very least, the thing that stands out in my brain, although she said a lot of other things as well, was you should just be happy that we want equality and that we're not looking for revenge. And I feel like that's like the sad truth of marginalized groups is that the abject violence the abject violence that is shown towards marginalized groups, be it directly or indirectly through legislation and through social norms and systems that are built against them. So often, these marginalized groups do not choose violence as their core approach. And it is mind boggling because the injustice that have been done to many marginalized groups within society is absurd. And yeah, like it's not a slant against all religious people. I should say my thoughts and my reflection on my own, but it is there are certain subsets therein that are problematic. And I was saying to a friend this morning, because I made a point of saying all of this publicly on my personal social media accounts yesterday as well. I was saying to a friend this morning that, like, at a certain point, when it comes to religious organizations, particularly the one that I have been from, although I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a part of it anymore, the evangelical Christian community. Hey, there you go. There's the auto prompt. At a certain point, between the promotion of harmful ideas, such as the way that they treat the LGBTQ plus community, and the protection of predatory behavior, such as, various abuses of powers. At a certain point, you have to ask yourself, and again, this is me in my experience with the evangelical church. I'm not trying to throw every version of church under the bus, because I'm not a part of all of that. And not every believer I don't want to throw under the bus either. I have great respect for the faith. I don't have so much for the institution. The institutions of that faith. But at a certain point, you do have to decide whether your ideals of a church full of broken people are the same as a church that allows these sorts of social, cultural, and relational abuses to exist, be covered up, and be ignored. And at that point, I think the long and short answer is maybe I can't align myself with that anymore. There's a great movie, Pride, which doesn't put the violence in the forefront of the scene, but instead tells the story of the LGBTQIA plus community from London that traveled to support the miners losing their jobs due to Thatcher's rule. Shows how an outside group learned to love the LGBTQIA plus and backed them as Pride March, doubling their numbers in the voting polls. That's really cool. The film is close to the historical truth of the period. People of all the time. You can find more about that history on websites dedicated to truth. Fascinating story. Fascinating for so many reasons, right? Like, fascinating from the very specific sense of history when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community and their historical and social role in our contemporary life. But it's also fascinating from like a very human point of view. And this, I think, is one of the things that's most important in my mind when I'm thinking about these things and trying to figure them out myself. Again, I should say, in all this, I hope that I say reasonable things, but I fully admit that I am not the best informed. And if I do say something that is either offensive or cruel or unintentionally so, tell me and I will gladly apologize and try to make right. Yeah, I think that human side it speaks worlds to the core issue that, like, what are we doing by marginalizing these groups? They are human. They are beautiful expressions of human. They are worth their life. And it's worth making me or other people uncomfortable. Not that I'm uncomfortable, but, it's worth making people uncomfortable having different people in their life if that very same expression of humanity that is beautiful and wonderful in them and is beautiful and wonderful in me is allowed to exist. Anyways, I will keep rambling on and on and on about this, so I will let other people continue this conversation. Yeah, I think that's admirable and probably the right course of action. Unfortunately for marginalized groups, violence by the people who run the system is seen as justified by legal or other means, but violence by the marginalized community just becomes ammunition against the marginalized community, which is deeply unfair and cruel, let alone the fact that I think it's a decent thing to do, even if that wasn't the case. Yeah, so I got one here. We're just going to do it in a minute. So with most polymer clay, so I'm using Super Sculpey. No, you're more than welcome. The history is fascinating. I just mean to say that I don't want to monopolize the conversation about it through only my lens by continuing to steer that conversation. So I'm happy to listen and learn. Yeah, 100%. My biggest thing is I don't want to. I'm trying really hard when I talk about how I'm working through this to not make it about me working through this as much as the bigger problem, which is people in crisis by other folks, by the horrible actions of lawmakers and people who are just lacking in humanity. Tell me how I really feel. So, sing. I still don't know if I'm getting it right. Thank you for the reminder. Always good to take a drink. Cheers to you. So there's a couple reasons why we use foil in the middle. So this is polymer clay. Super Sculpey is what I use. It doesn't dry out like so water-based clay eventually dries out because the water evaporates. It also doesn't bake the exact same way. Kid Angel, my heart breaks. I half glanced at that mid-sentence, and I only read about the first half. I'm glad that you feel like you have more support than you ever have, but it also breaks my heart that you would ever have gone through those horrible experiences. That is a tragedy which we should all be dealing with. So yeah, you know how Super Sculpey works. Perfect. Fantastic. Yeah, so they have metal inside. I often go into the spiel when people are talking about asking questions about it because it saves me half the time to explain a whole bunch of things. But if you're familiar with Super Sculpey, I won't monopolize the time. We're just gonna get some pumpkin-y depth here. So a really useful trick for someone who's like doing sculptures and wants to like paint them. Yeah, then the answer is just yes, and I don't have to ramble on for hours on end like I normally do. Yes, it saves clay, it saves weight using the foil. A great tip though for anyone who's doing sculptures, and if you're particularly painting them, um, we by not necessarily creating perfectly smooth outcomes, by creating say these little depth lines, which are somewhat natural to pumpkins, you'll have opportunities to create high lights and low lights easier through them. So if you do some dry brushing, which I don't do a lot of dry brushing because I prefer to control my highlights, but I do a little bit, I think, on these. I haven't done one in a long time. Giving just a little bit of texture to your project will help. It also will help with fingerprints because they won't be as obvious. Yeah, I feel like we can all agree that that's not okay and that we see and hear that tragedy. And yeah, I was thinking about this a lot yesterday when we were talking about this. Hey, 100% now. And my point is not to criticize the individual, but to challenge the broader cultures of faith communities that don't particularly support. Isn't that the beautiful truth? What's the line? You know, wise people plant trees that they'll never get to see the leaves that people have been giving and sacrificing. And, you know, the continued fervent hope is that that will make a better and better world for the next generation. Doesn't excuse anything right now, but it certainly gives some hope to the moment. Yeah, we all need some good hugs. Ah, excellent. May she continue to do so for many years to come. Yeah, so I was thinking about this yesterday because I think at one point I said something like, I'm sorry for bringing down the conversation by talking about this in the middle of stream. And we've continued on a little bit longer than we did yesterday, which is perfectly fine. But there's nothing wrong with that. And I realized that I may have said this at the time, but if I didn't, I want to say it now. That, like, you know what? I think it's okay. I think it's okay if it brings me down a little bit or brings you down a little bit. I think we should all feel really down about this topic. Not about the community in general, but about the world in which we live, where that community is so marginalized and it's so many risks. And if that makes me a tiny little bit uncomfortable for 20 minutes per stream or whatever, that's nothing compared to the deep discomforts that the average person from the LGBTQ plus community must be feeling in the culture that they currently live. The fear and the tragedies are too great. Yeah, 100%. Kit Angel. I almost said Kitangle again. Purple, white, or blue? Well, blue's my favorite color, so I'll pick blue. Bam! All right. Yes, Sutherlandha is my sister. I'm very fortunate that she chooses occasionally to visit us, and we've had a few long conversations on the various social medias in the last few days, weeks, about these things. As I've been posting more about it on my own Instagram. That would be Amanda. All right, I think that's going to be our pumpkin there. Yeah, and I think the important thing, not to diminish anyone's experience or life, but the important thing to remember that one of the reasons why it's super critical to advocate for folks from the LGBTQ plus community is because marginalized groups are marginalized. And in any case, that's unacceptable, whatever the reason may be. Apparently my phone just told me my event on my Discord for today's stream is starting. That would be like an hour and a half late. Late stage ASD with ADHD at 34-year-old, now 38. I feel like we are in good company here. I have not ever been diagnosed as ASD. I have no idea. Certainly, I have no reason to think that I am or not, except for the fact that I'm very good at being very focused on a thing, and then I drop it immediately, which, for some that is an indicator. But no, I am not. But I know many people, both here on stream and in real life, who have had late stage diagnoses, which are difficult to manage. Yeah, I'm happy to do that. White, dark blue, or gray? We're gonna go gray. Always happy to help. All right, friends, time for another pumpkin. We've got this one as a base or this one as a base. In terms of differences, there are differences here. Largely speaking, this one has a little bit more of a narrowing top. And this one is a little bit flatter, even though it's got a wider base. We are all similar ages. I think Amanda is topping our scales, if only because she's older than me. It's my sister. Neurospices unite. Hey, that's great. Happy to. What are you drawing today, Xing? If you want to share any of your art, we always love to see it. I know we just met yesterday, but you're always welcome. I know you're in the Discord, but for anybody else, the older sister. Yes, because the youngest is never the best. That's me, I'm the youngest. Perfect. You let me know if you post it. We'll get it up on stream. If we don't get it up today, we'll put it on next Tuesday. Does anyone have a preference? Wide bottom or narrow top? Which is a very strange distinction. Yeah. Only 2 years on me too, by that account. I'm also 38. But we have a very strange, so my siblings and I are very close. We have a middle sister in between us, with Amanda being 40. And the left one is the one that everyone's saying wide bottom. All right, that's the left one. But it's about a year between my two sisters, and then a year and a half between me and the middle sister. And so right now, because my birthday's in April, we're in a weird period where our ages are 38, 39, and 40. And then when we get to Sir Mix-a-Lot will approve. I like big pumpkins and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. When a gourd walks in with an itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face. Yeah, so then we have this really weird thing where there's three of us and our ages are 38, 39, and 40. And then for half the year, our ages are April birthday. When's your birthday? When's everyone's birthday? I never do birthdays on here. So if it's ever your birthday, you let me know. But when's your birthday in April? Happy birthday, belated. 8th of April. We're like 9 days apart. Did you say your age earlier? We were talking about ages. I'm 17th. October 2nd. Was it not someone's birthday yesterday? April 8th? Whoa. Yo! Wild. Am I in a position to ask what year we're talking about? Because this is getting very close. What year? Birthday buddies. Yeah, you broke me a little bit, but like in a good way. Like in an opposite to the way. 85. I'm 85 as well. We're 9 days apart. I share my birthday with Griffin McElroy of the McElroy brothers. 85 is the best year because it's the year Back to the Future came out. That's the truth. I did for a brief moment when you said I'm 85 forget that I asked you what year it was, and then I was like, whoa, is Kit Angel 85 years old? Objectively true. How dare you, Will. 82. I mean, my wife is 90, so I am a big fan of 90. Yeah, for a brief moment I thought you were. Yeah, we are old people. But thanks for hanging out with us. Us old people. The year 2000, I would have been 15 in the year 2000. It does tell you a lot about the world. We're so happy you're here nonetheless. Old people love it when young people hang out with them because it makes us feel like we're young and cool too. It is so easy to remember your age, isn't it? That's really convenient. 85 isn't too bad. Like, it's just a small amount of math. Like being on the fives and the O's. It's pretty good. It's also nice for me and my wife because we're 5 years apart. Oh yeah, the kids at the university. Will works at a university, I think, right? Is that what you mean? Correcto. That's how you get your age. Age by proxy, if you will. Can't believe you were both born on April 8th. I asked my children how old you are, and they know. They know. So I used to, we've talked about this before. You and I are in very similar situations, Katangle. My wife is 5 years younger, so she's a 90. But a 91, probably good too. I can't believe I'm speaking with someone with the age and experience of 9 extra days. I used to have a friend who was born the day after me. I say used to, like we don't see each other very often. 3 years and 3 days between you and your spouse. That's a very specific number with the 3 days. That's convenient. Kids from the future. Yeah, you know things that you've experienced life in such a way that I don't even understand it. It's so different than my own experience. Nine days of wisdom, 9 days more lived. I will respect my elder. But yeah, I knew a guy who was 1 year older, 1 day younger than me. I can imagine that's annoying. 3 days between you and your wife's birthdays. Although, you know, I suppose you never forget and you can just celebrate each other. I mean, my elder by 9 days. It's okay. I won't use it. I'll just always respect you. Let's move this guy back so we don't lose him. Hello, Coolib. Apparently I'm dancing today. Libby, how we doing? Come on in, Raiders. Good to see you. We were just discussing our birthdays and when we were born. There is like, I don't know, 5 people. Easy to remember because your birthdays are close. There are like 5 people chatting in chat. There's some people lurking, I think, as well. But there's 5 people chatting in chat. And of those 5 people, 2 of them who don't know each other Two of them had the exact same birthday, but like a decade or more apart. Isn't that wild? So any other April birthdays? This is what we have to test out there in the world. Any other April birthdays? Libby, how you doing? Thanks for jumping in. Just TK, thanks for joining us. Illuminated Siha, hello. Of course Chris tries to do that. Drop your birthdays. Bad reasons. Look, we're just looking for April birthdays. Doing well? I'm well. Libby, if you got a raid and run, you got to take care of yourself. Please do. If you got any art you want to share, you can drop a link, or you can... you don't have to share your birthday at all. And if you're not an April birthday, you can also just share your birthday without it. ASL, everybody. Thank you. The pumpkins are my great joy. This is something I like to make. I'm a sculptor. I also do digital art. On Tuesdays we do digital art, and on yeah, Libby's really talented. If you have any photos, hey, did your experiment work, Libby? You were experimenting with a new method yesterday. So this is the one that we just sculpted. Thanks, Bad Reasons, for following. I hope you have bad reasons for doing that. Yes, I know. I'm so clever. Nobody's probably ever made that joke. This is the one we sculpted today. These ones we sculpted last week. They're not painted yet, but they have an energy to them. All the bad reasons. And then if we look at the history of Weird Pumpkins, these are some of the first Weird Pumpkins I ever made. Old school, classic. And then I did a couple of resin cast ones where I made molds. So you can see that I created two identical, and I made more than two, but Weird Pumpkins. And then last year, Weird Pumpkin Week 2022, we made some that looked more like these. Yeah, I think they're really fun, both seasonally and just in general, because I think they just bring a lot of charm to them. They take the oddities of sculpting really well. And so yeah, this was the one we just did, and we're just working on a new one here. So we just got some cover on here. Last year's are on sale in my shop, although these ones are not yet there because I forgot. The experiment's success is still TBD. I need to bake and paint, use the glass, wait 24 hours to cure it before you can do that. So fingers crossed. Perfect. Libby, did you have anything you wanted to share art-wise? I don't want to miss that. Yes, now is right. We do sell Weird Pumpkins. Libby is an excellent streamer, but even more so a fantastic artist and a nice person. Libby is in this very rare category these days. Yeah, I saw that when I got up and I saw you were on stream. I saw the felting was the goal for today. I don't often pop into streams these days, although I did go to Now's for a little bit this morning because I really wanted to support Now going back to sculpting, which they did. If you drop it in the Discord, let me know, or if you just want to drop a link, that's perfectly fine too. That goes for anybody. We just love seeing art. We love supporting people for what they do. Discord's primarily about me, but it also lets us use the fridge to where we put art. Yes, Now is an excellent mod, and therefore will always do promotion for me so I don't have to. They are well supportive. They also own a number of Weird Pumpkins. Cube mat for the glass to fall into. Genius. Yeah, please do. We are family friendly. That's the only other thing. Hate being a traditional artist. You just met Libby today? Fantastic. Well, you are now on a deep chain of wonderful, nice people. Libby is a great onboarding. A number of the people who are chatting in chat are people who... Oh, that's why the traditional artist is rough. There are a number of wonderful people who sculpt and paint and photograph and do these sorts of things in and around our chat. Some of them that I can see here, let me just look at the list of people who's currently online. and tell you who are some great people to follow. All right, if this is an accurate list, Art and Jest, Stitch and Time Designs, Ella Coolib, which you already know. I apologize if I missed anybody here, and I'm not trying to call anybody out who's lurking either. Oh, there's a lot of, I think I might have some bots in here. I think Illuminated Seahawk streams. Sorry, Kiki Hunter, Creative, Kit Angel Arts. I believe you stream, right? I'm still meeting some new people. Now, of course. And there's probably a bunch more here. Those are some nice art people that I saw that are cool. I do for my sins. But yes, we love to share art. We love to just celebrate people for the effort they're making. Making art is hard. Sharing art is sometimes even harder. But we try to make it easy. It's an alt. No, it's fine. I can get it there. You can put it whatever you want, as long as you're happy for me to post it. I do run a second Discord, which has been in standby quiet mode for a little while, called Arting Live Together, which is supposed to be about helping the art community. Let's head over to the fridge and see what we got going on over there. Betsy Paint sends me this lovely picture of Kermit the Frog foliage at Disney. That's all it really is. This is Now's lovely Kermit, not Kermit, Kirby, one of the Kurs from earlier. And let's check out what Libby was working on today. Needle felting. Needle felting is a very interesting and beautiful process, one that I do not understand. Not, at least not fully. I've done it with some of my amigurumi work back in the day. Sometimes a friend solves your problems for you by sending you a gift. This is a very big picture compared to the last one that was in here, apparently. So I apologize. It's taking me a long time to shrink it down. There we go. Wow. So is this sort of like a flat thing? Sort of like if you were cross stitching but not doing the stitching part, but needle felting instead. It's very pretty. I say this a lot when it comes to Libby's work because Libby is just impeccable at like color and tone and shape, especially in a 2D plane. The pastel work, like always, like blows my mind. Libby has stickers too. If you want like a really cool sticker, I think you should look at Libby's stickers. You can drop a link to that if you want, Libby. I don't know what the link is off the top of my head, but yeah, just taking this all in. It's beautiful. They're a bit washed out because the light's weird. Yeah, I mean, color in pictures can be real tough digitally. Yeah, go ahead and drop the link. I don't mind. There's a number of things. I think they're all the pastel work that Libby's done and converted into stickers. Thank you. Let's take a look at it. Where did that go? Oh, I'm in the wrong Discord because I switched over. Oh my goodness, we got a bunch of them today. Let's take a look. This is a good place to share. There's also this place called the fridge, which is where we put direct art. But let's get this up here. See if we can't put this on the window. Is your username Good Reasons Glass and then your Bad Reasons on oh my goodness, this is very cool stuff. Bad Reasons is your username here. That's hilarious if it's true. I need a window capture. Here we go. Oh, your last name's Reasons, even better. There's a shop with the stickers in it from Libby. Now, I will admit, I'm not. Oh, I always hate Instagram in a browser. Oh, this is a real. These pressed glass flowers. Thank you, Libby, for helping to clarify that for me, because my brain is not always good. Oh, it's resin flowers. Very cool. See what else we got here. Oh, more reels. Won't be able to stick with the reels. Are they all reels? They might all be reels. Oh, that's glass. Wow. Stained glass is so beautiful to me. Like, oh my goodness, look at this one. All right, I'm being drawn in again. One of the things, bad reasons, that I like about Twitch, I like about the community that I'm fortunate to be a part of, that I get to be looped in with a bunch of nice people, is that genuinely they're all very supportive. And art is often an isolating and lonely task. But being able to hang out with people and see art is really super cool. And, you know, wow, is this glass here? Yes. Oh, it's a reel again, so I can't actually look at it. But